Hi, friends, and welcome to Nature Check, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. This is our first stream of 2023. I'm so excited to be back, y'all. I hope you are excited to be back with us. Hello. You know me. I'm Sheryl. I'm here most of the time. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm a PhD candidate studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago. When I'm not doing that, I am a science communicator and play TRPGs as often as possible. And tonight, I will be the game master for this absolutely wonderful, chaotic one-shot that we are about to play. Next, I will introduce you to the cast, or they will introduce you to themselves. We'll start with Jess.
Hi, I'm Jess McLaughlin. I use they, them pronouns. I am a postdoc studying working on comparative genetics of Caribbean anole lizards, out at UC Berkeley. Also living on unceded land of the Ohlone people. I play an ungodly amount of D&D in my free time. So, looking forward to this. A little bit of a different system.
You're among friends. Then we've got Maddie.
Hi, friends. I'm Maddie. I'm a PhD student at UT Austin. I study plant biology. My focus is on my focus is on flowering genetics, and I study how the epigenetic mechanisms that regulate flowering might also affect climate change and how plants respond to warm ambient temperatures.
Then there's Dan.
Hi, folks. I'm Dr. Dan Peach. I'm a new assistant professor at the University of Georgia's Savannah River Ecology Lab. I study anything mosquito-related, mosquito ecology, mosquito pollination, you got it. And I'm looking for master's students as well. So if you're interested in doing some master's level work and anything mosquito-related, please give me a shout out. I guess Twitter is probably the easiest way, at DanPeach3.
Do it. He's cool. And then there's Casey.
What's up, guys? I'm Casey. Just the letters KC, not CASEY. Nothing against those CASEY people, though. I have mostly a theater background, a little bit of science in undergrad there. So I'm probably as excited to learn some science stuff as you are, viewer. And I also play just way too much D&D.
You can find Casey and myself over on the First Watch, not the YouTube channel for the Breakfast Place. First Watch, the D&D game channel.
Is there a breakfast place?
There's a breakfast place in the Midwest called the First Watch, and they have a YouTube channel. It's very confusing. Anyway, we are here to play an indie short TRPG system this evening. This can be found online. It's available for anybody who wants to play. It's called You Awaken in a Strange Place, and it was designed by Jacob Andrews, who you can find on Twitter at capital F, capital L, lowercase o, a, capital B, capital C, comic on Twitter. But the game is called You Awaken in a Strange Place, which is honestly easier to remember than the Twitter handle. So we will jump right into it because that's what it is. We are improvising. We didn't prep anything except our materials to play ahead of time. So I would like all of you to roll your 2d6. And add them together to get one result.
I got an 8.
An 8.
9.
9. What was that?
7 from me.
7. 7, 8, 9.
A mighty 6.
A mighty 6. 6, 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. Wow.
Perfect. All right. So 9, 8, and 7. You're going first. 6. Hang out for a second. Okay. So Casey, you got the 9?
Yep.
All right. In your head, not out loud yet, you're going to think of a genre. Who got the 8? Jess? All right. You are in your head silently going to think of an adjective. And Maddie, you in your head are going to think of a location. So I'll give you a moment to marinate on that. Dan, your job for the moment will be tiebreaker. So if, for instance, one of them has 2 really great ideas and they can't choose between 2, you get to do the choose.
Copy that.
Okay. Casey, do you have a genre?
Horror.
Horror. Yes. Okay. Starts taking notes. Jess, an adjective.
Um, uh, Druidic.
Druidic. Oh, I love where this is going. I'm excited. Maddie, a location.
First idea, best idea, grasslands.
Grasslands. The ecosystem I currently work in. I'm stoked. Okay.
Be popular.
So we have druidic horror in the grasslands. I'm so excited. Okay, since Dan didn't have to make any tie breaks there, you will get to go first in this next part of the setup. So we've got those 3 words to get us started. Now, each of you will take a turn to make a statement about the world of the game to sort of expand on those 3 words we've got. The rules of the game say whatever you say becomes canon for the world. So, you know, if the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man appears, it's not my fault. So yeah, each of you will make one statement that will now be true about the world, and then together we'll sort of collaboratively knit those statements together and expand on the world a little bit. Once we're happy with it, we'll move on to the next step. So Dan, a statement about this grasslands in which this druidic horror story will be taking place.
Each year for the past 10 years, it's been getting colder and colder, and we're uncertain if winter will ever end.
Ooh. Okay. Casey, a statement about this world.
Let's go with the sun never sets.
Ooh. Okay. Longer, colder winters, but the sun never sets. Cool. Jess, a statement that is true about this world.
It is inadvisable to dig too deep in the hills, because that is where you will find the bones.
Yes! There's the horror.
Have I been binging the Magnus Archive recently? Yes, I have.
Yes!
Don't dig too greedily or too deep.
Oh no.
Oh no. And Maddie, a statement that is true about the world.
As a result of the climate getting colder and colder, predators that are normally associated with much colder environments have been migrating down, and new mutants have been emerging as a result, or new hybrids, I should say.
Yeah, new hybrid predators. Love it. Ooh, spoopy. And so realistic. So when you say like new hybrid predators, you're picturing like Pisleys and Growler bears and stuff.
Oh,
Absolutely.
God,
Well, really, like whatever you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just go for it.
All right. Awesome. Okay, so to review, we have grasslands in which a druidic horror will be taking place. The winters are getting longer and colder every year. The sun never sets here. New predators and new hybrid predators are emerging or migrating into this environment as the climate changes. And it is inadvisable to dig too deeply in the hills because that's where the bones are. So, does any of that spark anyone's imagination, creativity, questions? What other things would you like to sort of like sew between all of those statements to round out the world?
Do we want to determine what the bones are or how long they've been there, or is this a new development that we need to search out?
That is up to you.
I feel like the bones have always been there, and
Bones are old.
nobody wants to think about it too much because nobody's ever seen anything quite as large as these, and it would suggest that perhaps the hills were once alive.
Yes.
That's terrifying.
I love that. All right, so something huge and prehistoric. I'm getting eldritch vibes. Super good. Okay. The sun never sets, but the winters are getting longer and colder. It gives me like a Land of the Midnight Sun vibe, right?
A some kind of rock has been found that insulates really well as the climate is getting colder. So you have to dig now.
Ah, yeah. Love that conflict. Have to dig. What else?
How would people be feeding themselves in this situation?
That's a good question.
Do we want to have some food scarcity in there?
Well, there's predators. What's the prey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more competition for the herds of, I don't know, antelope.
Okay. That's a grassland herbivore.
You could also say maybe there's some competition between the native grasslands and the like few attempts to farm the area that there've been.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, between the grassland plants and agriculture, and also between the changing climate and agriculture, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay. What about this druidic component? How are we picturing that coming into play? Is it very like magic, or sort of like the older meaning of druidic?
I mean, I think that to some degree, I would be surprised if we didn't have some tie into trying to change the climate back, or so whether that is a peaceful way or horrific, disturbing way, I will maybe leave up to other folks.
Well, and there's probably quite a bit of conflict, I imagine, because some people support those efforts and others maybe whisper that that's how we got into the situation to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Some magic ritual gone awry.
Yeah. I was going to say like ritual sacrifice or something like that.
Okay.
Somebody built a stone circle in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Maybe over the bones.
Ooh.
Perhaps some people are trying to use the bones rather than this new rock for insulation.
Amazing. Okay. Other thoughts? It's okay if you don't have other thoughts on the world at the moment, because that statement, whatever you say about the world becomes canon, will remain true throughout the rest of the game. However, after this moment of world building, if you want to make something true about the world during the rest of the game, you'll need to roll for it.
Excellent.
Says there is a chance of success or failure on any of those statements in the future, but you can continue to attempt to add things to flesh out the world as we keep going. Okay. Everybody, I don't know if happy is the right word. Everybody good with what we've got so far? Okay.
It's good to me.
Yeah, no, this is, I have ideas. Okay, so you're gonna roll your 2d6 again.
Mine was about half as mighty as last time, and ended up with the 3.
Okay.
I guess 7 as well.
3, 7, 7.
I got an 11.
An 11. Okay, Jess and Cassi both roll again, and we'll see which one of you goes first.
8.
9.
Okay. So Maddie, you're on the spot first. Everybody else gets to listen to them have to suffer through this, so you get a chance to sort of learn while they suffer and be ready when it's your turn. Maddie, you are going to describe for us the kind of character you want to be. You can give us a physical description and a personality description, And you are also going to come up with 4 skill verbs that apply to your character. These are both things that make your character great and make them flawed, because one of those skills your character is going to be amazing at, one skill they're going to be okay at, one skill they're going to be not great at, and one skill they're going to suck at. Okay, so those correspond to a +2, a +1, a -1, and a -2 in terms of mechanics. But basically, yeah, you'll describe for us who your character is, name, pronouns, physical description, personality description, and also these 4 skill verbs.
Okay. Sounds good. Sorry, my videos are messing up because y'all will see me completely flustered, but here we are. Okay. I'm going to say that my character is very concerned with food supply. That is, I'm going to go with she, they pronouns because those are mine, and so they are really involved in agriculture, and that is one of their primary motivations. They care a little bit less about the natural environment, and the primary means that they are trying to go about feeding their community is through just a little bit of the druidic magic, and if that includes a little bit of sacrifice, then they'd consider it. They don't want to, but they'd consider it.
Okay. Are they, when you say they're concerned with feeding their community, are they like an individual farmer, or are they sort of like the agriculture secretary, but maybe make that position for whatever size community you're envisioning?
Since we're out of the world creation phase, I'm just going to say that they're more of an individual farmer, but perhaps not necessarily a leadership position in the community, but that is definitely, maybe they define themselves a little bit based on that role that they've taken for themselves.
Okay.
But yeah, physical description, just we're going to say lanky, maybe used to be before. It's interesting that the sun is always present. Sun never sets, but it's colder and colder. So we're going to say they're lanky, but still have a ton of freckles and just very like sun-kissed because they're working outdoors. Normally she's in a pair of like overalls. We're going to say just very classic with like a button shirt underneath, just cotton though. And wears transition lenses.
Not a sponsor.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a brand. I just thought that was a adjective. Oh no.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm sorry. Glasses that can be sunglasses or regular glasses. Oh no.
You're good. Does this farmer have a name?
Yes. Her name is Elodie.
Oh, that's so pretty. Elodie. All right. And what are Elodie's 4 skills? Remember, she's very good at one, okay at another, not great at a third, and pretty terrible at a fourth.
Okay. I am going to say that they are amazing at soil science and like knowing what which will be a stretch because that's definitely not my specialty, but I think it's really interesting. They're amazing at soil science and knowing what can grow best, like in a given and in a changing environment. Like they're all right in that. I'm gonna say they're okay at people skills. They have to be in order to maintain a successful business and also to try to sway people. That her way is the right way in terms of how they use the earth. Not great at seeing the long-term consequences of her actions, maybe.
Okay.
And flawed. how specific or general should we be with these flaws?
So basically these are what you're going to be rolling for, right?
Okay.
So like if you were trying to persuade the community to participate in one of your sacrifices, I would have you roll people skills, right? Or if you were trying to figure out if you could make some crop grow on one of these mysterious hills, I would have you roll soil science, right? So similarly, for your -1, I put sort of like big picture or understanding long-term consequences, like you said. So that might be sort of like it's like a general-ish wisdom-y stat, but like basically being able to like if you were going to make a decision, I might be like, hey, roll that and see if you realize that something complicated might happen if you try it, right? So yeah, these are things that you'll be potentially being asked to roll. So make them kind of general-ish, but also specific is okay. Like we had a person in the first session of this that we played be very good at playing the flute.
Love that. Love that. I'm gonna say a flaw. I'm just gonna go with the original one I thought of. Clumsy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So -2. If your character has a -2 to this skill, in order to be clumsy, then I'd say like we could use dexterity.
Yeah.
Alrighty, friends. So the rest of you have seen what that character creation looks like. And so now we have Elodie, she, they, an individual farmer who defines theirself by their role in the community and prioritizes feeding the community through agriculture. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
And their skills are soil science, people skills, understanding the big picture, and dexterity. Anybody in the group could be asked to roll one of those 4 skills, but anybody who's not Elodie will roll all of those skills at a +0. So the 3 of your characters are all just sort of average at all 4 of those skills. You each will come up with 4 new skills for your character, and everyone else in the group will be just average at those, while your character will have the +2, +1, -1, -2. Make sense?
Yeah.
Dope. Okay, Casey, you were next.
I think my character is he's like 18, 20 years old. He's a kid. He's got a little bit of a beard beginning to come in. He's very lean, but strong. I think he's him and his family are tanners, I think. I think he's also and I guess this feeds into his skills a little bit, but I think he's very good with his hands, like building things, making things, crafting things. Excuse me. And he is out on an expedition journey, what have you, to find some of this rock and or bone to bring back and kind of prepare his homestead for the dropping temperatures. So yeah, I think he's amazing with his hands at building things. I think he's pretty good in terms of strength. I think he's not so good at puzzles, like things he has to figure out without his hands. And then I think he is terrible at I think he's slow. I think he's real slow.
As in like physical speed. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I wrote down your character name TBD has a +2 to crafting
Jethro.
/ what was that? Jethro.
Jethro, yeah.
Of course it is. Jethro has a +2 to crafting / building, a +1 to strength, a -2 to puzzles. A -1 to puzzles and a -2 to speed.
Yes.
Amazing. All right, Jess.
So I think that my character is a little goblin. They work as a miner. They don't really have particular opinions about their work, but you gotta put food on the table somehow. And they are very, very good at digging. and just doing stuff underground. And I was gonna say they were, for their +1 is like fixing things, but I guess that falls under what Jethro's skill is. Like I
Crafting?
come
Yeah,
with it,
kind
yeah.
of. Yeah. All right, so you're going to say
Um,
+2 is digging?
yeah. You know what? Let's do a wild card one. +1. They're really good at cooking.
All right.
Hell yeah.
It's an important
Um,
skill.
yeah. They're not very good at stealth or hiding.
Okay.
And for their -2, like anything magic, they are just bad at it. They're just terrible at it. Uh, don't understand it, can't use it. Just absolutely terrible at it. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, and their name is Gravelax.
Gravelax. Super cute. All right, so we have digging, cooking, stealth, and magic. Dan, with your mighty 3, who have you got for us?
I'll go kind of like a Clint Eastwood kind of man with no name looking dude. Call him Anders. He'll have been a former sailor, but what the heck he's doing so far inland in a grassland kind of habitat, leave that up to mystery. So for +2, just this guy, like, he looks like he's been through the shredder, man. He's got like visible face scars. It looks like he's been out in the sun so much his skin's leather. So he'll be tough as nails for his +2 there. He can just take a beat and keep on going. Looks like he was once in great shape, but he's maybe not had a lot to eat for the last little bit, so he's kind of skinnier than one would think. For a +1, we'll do maybe like gut intuition kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't trust his gut a lot, rather than knowing sort of consciously what's going on. For a -1, we'll maybe do just anything civilization related. So it doesn't like cities, doesn't like kids these days.
Oh God.
None of that. And then maybe for -2, I don't know if this is too specific or not, but I figured anything to do with land transportation. So like horses, carts, like anything like that, he just can't do it.
In a grassland.
Yeah. So like,
Wait, does that include walking?
He's really out of his element, right? Like it's he gets, we'll say, cart sick.
Oh
like,
no, oh buddy.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's too specific or not.
No, I love it. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so wow, that's a party. I love it. Okay, so we have Elodie, Jethro, Gravelax, and Anders. And 16 skills. So we have soil science, people skills, big picture, long-term consequences, dexterity, crafting and building, strength, puzzles, speed, digging, cooking, stealth, magic, toughness, intuition, civilization, and land transport. And now I am allowed to add a few if I think there's something missing. And I do. I think there's one thing missing because people, like, it's the thing that we roll the most in most of these TRPGs, and it's perception. If you want to look for something, you might want to have a way to roll for it. So I'm going to add perception to the list of skills that y'all have access to. So that gives you 17 skills. Those are the only skills you are allowed to roll during the course of this game. If you're trying to do something, better have an argument for how it applies to one of those skills.
Okay.
And remember, you have a +0 to anything that is not one of your personal skills. And all of these will be 2d6.
Can we run through the list one more time?
We can. Soil science, people skills, big picture, long-term consequences, dexterity, crafting and building, strength, puzzles, speed, digging, cooking, stealth, magic, toughness, intuition, civilization, land transport, and perception. For the audience, this is a 2d6 based system, if you haven't figured that out yet. So anytime our players want to do something, they'll roll their 2d6 and add or subtract any relevant modifiers. A 6 and below is a total failure, and we get to do consequences. A 7, 8, or 9 is a mixed success, where something good happens and something bad happens. And a 10 and above is a full success. Yahoo, hooray. Now the rules say I'll be given 5 minutes to jot down notes and ideas before the game begins, but that makes for terrible television, and since we're live streaming, I'm not going to take 5 minutes, because that would be silly. So let's instead just make sure everybody is good on the rules. Any rules questions? Okay, so you know how to roll for skills. You also know that you can make new statements about the world as you play, and you just have to roll straight 2d6 to see if your statement is successfully added to the canon of the world. You can also do a roll to look for resources, so like items for your inventory. That is not associated with a skill, it's just, again, a straight 2d6 roll, and you can find resources. You can just have those resources, and then they can become whatever you need in the moment. But like, say you found 2 resources, and you decide one of them is a rope, it's going to stay a rope. It can't suddenly become a bucket of water, right? Let's see. Once you awaken in your strange place, you'll need to develop a goal between your group and start working towards it. You also start the game with 10 hit points, just in case in this druidic horror game we need hit points. And you also have any sort of like mundane items that it would make sense for your character to have. So like Gravel Axe might have like a pickaxe or something like that. Anders probably has a cool hat.
I like it.
You know.
I'm writing that down.
Right. Okay, you can also assist your teammates. So, like, if Anders was trying to talk to someone, but Anders doesn't really do people or civilization that well, apparently, perhaps Elodie would try to help him. So Elodie could roll people skills first, and the success or failure on your roll would then determine how much help or hurt you give him on his roll, right? So don't be afraid to offer your teammates help. Also, don't be afraid to be silly or stupid or scary. This is 100% improv, so as long as we respect lines, veils, and, you know, common decency, we're here to have fun and be wacky. Any last questions, comments, or concerns? As the dog gets fed in the background. All right. In that case, we will open the game. You all awaken in a strange place. You are lying in some sort of position, some of you sort of on your back or on your side, your arms and legs splayed at uncomfortable and odd angles, as if you've been blown back from the center. And as you open your eyes and look, you see the center where you've been blown back from is some sort of altar where a sacrifice of some kind was being made in this constant bid to control weather magic and make these grasslands a hospitable place to live and work and grow your families and your community. What would you like to do?
The hell kind of bullshit is this?
Who are y'all? How did we get here?
Oh, I'm Andrew. I don't know how I got here.
Well, I was
Who are you?
walking, and then I felt something hit me in the back of the head, and then I woke up here.
That's interesting. I wasn't walking. I was just kind of in a field, just taking some samples.
I don't know. There was a cave in, and I thought I was done for, and well, now I'm here, and that doesn't make any sense.
Thing I remember was going to bed for the night.
Can I do a perception check of some kind to see a clue about where we are or how we got here?
Yeah.
Sweet. That is a 7.
Okay, a 7. So you sit up and you feel kind of like stiff, again, as if you'd hit the ground hard. And you are able to see, like, you recognize this place. It's the center of the town where y'all live. But you're not really able to sort of, like, figure out what might be important or, like, why you're here, right? Like, you know you live in this town, but, like, why am I here on the ground in the center all of a sudden?
Are there any people around?
Besides the other 3 laying on the ground? Not at the moment, like, not outside necessarily, but, like, there are other buildings, so you assume there could be other people inside.
Anders will stand up sort of stiffly, pick up his cool hat, dust it off, and, punch it, put it on his head, look around, and walk up to inspect the altar.
Okay. Give me a perception check as well.
That's a big old 4.
A big ol' 4. Tell me how you fail on your way up to inspect the altar.
Somebody opens a door and it creaks, and that makes him a little jumpy. Then he trips and falls again.
Okay, yeah, so you're back on the ground, didn't actually make it to the altar.
No.
But I will not make you take any hit points of damage.
Very generous.
So I suspect that there's some sort of magic afoot.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to go check out the altar and kind of sniff at it a little bit with the full awareness of the fact that I am very unlikely to get anything from this.
Okay. So you're specifically trying to roll magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a 4 minus 2, so 2.
Yeah, you trip over Anders. So we're just consolidating the pile of people.
What are you in the way for?
You just hear Anders mutter something that's incomprehensible. It's probably a string of curse words. Not directed at you, but just at the world.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
That's a mood.
You first.
No, you got it.
Okay, I was going to say, probably on the way to join the rest of the people in this pile, I'm going to try to approach the altar as well, specifically with the goal of trying to see if there's, I guess, like, some sort of, like, runes on it or, like, writing on it. Like, I'm looking for, like, that sort of information specifically.
Okay, yeah, perception again, I think is fine.
Cool. Oh, no. Rerolling that to toss it. Okay.
So yeah, I told
that's
you you'd
an
want
8.
something to be able to look at stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
An 8. Okay, so Elodie, this altar is familiar to you. You think, now that you're, like, thinking back through what happened, that you might have built this.
Oh, no.
So can you tell me more about what it looks like?
Okay. I'm gonna say it looks a little rough because it's made out of stone, but I am not particularly a skilled craftsperson. I am so it looks, I guess, like it's been chipped away at in order to make its original shape.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to turn this off. And that it's more like column-like in appearance. And there are some rudimentary runes traced along the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're talking about a column that's about like 3 feet high, they start on the flat surface at the top of the column and kind of spiral around, and then kind of overflow onto the sides and then down. There's a lot of them. but once again, not particularly well made, not particularly well crafted.
No, I love that. It's awesome. And the mixed part of this success is that your beautiful altar that you spent so much time on has a big crack running through it from the top down through the middle, and it's cracked some of these runes in half or, in pieces, so they're marred, not effective anymore. And that crack is originating from the top where the sacrifice had been placed. And there is a chip of kind of an off-white, slightly porous material sitting on top of your altar.
Okay, chip of off-white porous material. Interesting. Do I recognize this material?
Let's see. Let's go with intuition. That's a skill from Anders' list.
Okay.
Can I walk up and give her help somehow with like building and or crafting?
Please do. Yes.
Material.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You roll your building crafting first.
+2, 9.
9. Okay. Let me go back to the helping part. Where is that? Assist. Okay, you got a 9. Okay, so Elodie, that means you get an additional +1 on your intuition.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Okay, that's going to be a 6 + 1, 7.
7. Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome, not a failure. So between the two of you, you're like, that's a piece of bone. But what do you think is complicated about you realizing that?
I'd say the complex realization is there's 2 parts, at least for Elodie. The first is she's immediately trying to distance herself from this and trying to make it seem like she's not involved, even though very clearly she is. She's like,
I'm sorry, this is not my Eldritch altar.
Right?
That's not my bone, actually.
I don't know
I've
her.
never seen this before.
Yeah.
I've never seen this man in my life. But yeah, so she is like doing this weird mixture of like really like kind of freaking out, but also trying to pretend like she doesn't know anything. And I'd say the thing that specifically went wrong was it should be whole. Originally, there was an entire organism, not to get too gory. There should at least be the entire skeleton. And there is not.
Yeah. And to clarify, when I say a chip of this bone material, if your altar is 3 feet tall, I imagine there's, quite a bit of space on top, right? This chip of bone is perhaps the size of a person's head.
Okay. All right.
But it's not, you're right, it's not what organism you thought you had placed on there as a sacrifice.
Yeah. Thought it was something much smaller.
Yeah.
Anders is gonna get up again, dust himself off, and then put his cool hat back on, and reach down and offer a hand to gravel axe.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, what's that there? You're not supposed to take that out of the hills. That doesn't go well.
Oh, well, we just found it here. I didn't know. I didn't know anything about that. Is that bone? You said it was bone?
Can Anders roll intuition?
Absolutely. She's being so casual.
No, that's a 6. She's telling God's honest truth.
You believe her.
Can I tell anything? I'm assuming from the way you've described this is one of the giant bones from the hills. Can I get it?
Can you what?
Can I get any? Can I look at it and I'm assuming I've run across these before. Can I get any more info out of it by looking at it if I use my dig skill?
Yeah, sure. I'll let you use your dig skill. Since you've been digging them.
8 plus 2, so 10.
A 10. Awesome. Yeah, so that's a total success. So yes, you do recognize it, not like this piece specifically, but it does look like the bones that you're not supposed to dig up and take out of the hills. Yeah, so they're old bone colored, so off-white or kind of yellowish and very porous. And yeah, this is a chip or a chunk of one. It's not like it's a whole rib or a whole femur or a whole tooth or something like that. It's just a chunk. And it doesn't have any dirt on it that you can see. Like, this isn't like a fresh yoinked out of the ground and put on top of this altar kind of dealio.
It's probably really bad that this is here. This might need to go back where it came from.
I haven't been in town long, but who are you all and what is this?
I don't know. Who are you all?
Well, I'm Jethro, but I thought the bones were a myth. To be honest with you, I've never seen one in person.
Nah, they're real, sure enough. Pain in the butt. Whenever we run into one, we gotta rear out the whole line. Do not want to mess with them. I don't know what happens, but it's not good. I'm Gravlax. By the way.
Yeah, I'm Elodie. I mainly farm. I don't have any experience with digging. Honestly thought it was more of a myth than anything else, the bones.
I'm Anderson. What the heck are these bones?
I think you're muted.
They're in the hills. They don't like being out of the hills.
All right, well, then do we just take it back before doom and gloom comes to the town, or what? Are there authorities that we can give this to and they can take it back?
We might want to just go put this back. I don't know. They'll just tell me to do it anyways, or one of the other miners.
You said that the bones don't like being touched. Do the bones have feelings? Then that shouldn't be the case.
Yeah, all I know is that in this, you can make me roll for this if you want. Whenever you mess with the bones, bad things happen afterwards.
I'm happy with that to be canon.
Yeah.
It goes along with what we started with, yeah.
Yeah.
What are they from?
I don't know. Don't like think about that too much. Never seen anything that big. All I know, there's a friend of mine. I'm terrible making up names on the spot. A friend of mine, Phil. He accidentally broke off part of one of them. His house burned down 2 weeks later. Yeah, we should go put this back.
Okay,
This
yeah, we
is a
should put that
big
back.
chunk. That was just like a little baby chunk. This is nope.
Can I try to pick the chunk up?
Roll me some strength.
How heavy this thing is? 8 plus 1, 9.
Okay. Yeah, so you pick it up no problem, actually, because it's much lighter than it looks like it should be given the size and the material that you know it's supposed to be made out of. But as you touch it, you feel this little like jolt of, I don't know if electricity is maybe not the right word, but it's almost reminiscent, like it hits your memory as like being similar to what threw you on the ground.
Okay. Well, obviously, I think we figured it out, but this is the thing that threw us back. It just gave me a little shock when I touched it. So yeah, we should probably get this gone. You're a minor. You said, do you know the best place to put this back? Does it have to be put back with it where it originally was, or can we just dig a hole right here?
You're muted.
Probably, I don't know, but I guess to be safe, I'd say back in the mines and try to find if we can where it came from. But I feel like the town we're in like may not actually be in the hills proper. Like, does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think so. If the hills are that dangerous, it's probably in the flat. Also, because most of the grassland is flat.
Seems like we got a walk ahead of us then. We should get to getting.
Fine, as long as there's no carts involved.
Fine.
I refuse to elaborate any further. Andrew's just goes stone silence at the end of it.
If you get a cart, he's going to insist on standing in the middle of the cart as you go.
You get that rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you're all standing up and leaving this sort of like center area of town with this cracked stone altar in it. The wind blows sort of like leaves and bits of grass and stuff around your ankles as you walk. You have to tug your coats a little tighter around yourselves. It is the beginning of winter here in August. And the plants, yeah, right? The seed heads on all of the different prairie plants are hanging over and rattling a bit in the breeze. All of the sort of like dead thatch of the grasslands laid out before you, and you are heading to the hills. Is that okay? Gravelax, are you taking them to a specific mining area?
I mean, I feel like there is. It's just like there's the mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, my gut is we go there and we ask if anybody knows anything about where this might have come from, seen anybody coming in and out of the mine that maybe didn't belong, because Gravlax thinks probably. I don't know what I don't know if I agree, but Gravlax probably thinks that none of the miners would be stupid enough to do this on purpose, so it'd have to be an outsider.
Okay. So you walk through the grasslands to the hills where the mine is, and the thing about grasslands and hills is that the soil tends to be thinner on hills. So in the prairie here, IRL in North America, you don't normally find agriculture happening on a lot of these hills with thin rocky soils because you can't plant the fragile baby plants of human agriculture on those soils. So basically the entrance to the mine is like, there's not really a lot of soil that you have to go through before you hit rock. It's just, you know, sort of a doorway, as it were, into the side of this hill, into the rock. And when you come up to it, Gravelax, it's a little different than normal, a little different. There's rock and debris sort of blown out from this hole. A lot of the thatch of the dead prairie is sort of flattened immediately around this hole, as if it was, you know, pushed in a blast, similarly to how all you appear to have been pushed by a blast. And there's even little bits of like black streaking on the rock, almost like soot, maybe.
I don't like that. Do I see anybody around? Is this like nobody's here, or is this like there's a lot of people running around like, oh my gosh, what happened? Like, what type of disaster are we talking here?
Yeah, make a perception check.
11.
Okay. Which would make you feel better?
Like having people around.
Okay. then your successful perception is that there are other miners running around with tools. Some of them have soot on their faces or, dirt and stuff in their hair. It looks like something is going on.
All right, I'm gonna ask one that I see. Hey, Doug. Yeah, you get over. What's going on?
No idea. Earthquake or something. I don't know. Tunnels started collapsing. There's just debris blowing through the whole mine. It's hot, which, nice compared to outside, but also scary. No idea what's going on.
I don't like that. Well, warm is fine. Hot's not good. So is the whole thing collapsed or
Not all of it, just parts and collapsing present tense. Things are just going all over wherever.
There's more explosions?
You don't hear explosions, but you feel sort of this rumbling or trembling in the ground, like things are continuing to. You could give me an intuition before I just give it all to you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have dice to play this game with.
6. Awesome. Yeah, you hear lots of noises happening. There's people running around. But Jethro, you, I don't think, have spent time underground before. You were interested in finding some rock or bone to build with, but you hadn't been here yet. So this is unfamiliar territory for you.
Well, I don't know what's going on. We can check it out.
It feels like that's probably what we're gonna have to do.
Yeah, we need to put it back somewhere.
How long
Wait,
has this
who's
been going
holding-
on?
I think Jethro is carrying it. Is that right?
Okay,
Yeah, I have it.
cool.
How long have these collapses been going on?
Are you asking the person? Oh.
Yeah, Doug?
Just 20 minutes. I don't know. Just kind of started out of the blue.
Jethro is gonna chuck the little piece or the chunk into the mine and see if it stops.
You're gonna throw it? Okay, give me a strength.
9.
9. Okay. Yeah, so you throw it. Are you aiming in a particular direction or no, just throwing?
Yeah.
Okay. So you throw it and it sort of it starts going just as you wung it, and then it kind of curves, banks, almost like it hit, an air current or something, and it sort of falls down a passage off to your left. So you can't see the piece anymore.
Wow.
I've dropped a lot of rocks in my time, and that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, I don't know how to throw a curveball, so that wasn't me.
We're gonna have to go in there, aren't we?
Yeah, let's go get it. Starts walking off.
I mean, maybe we should grab weapons or something first. I don't know.
That was very Indiana Jones of you. Aw.
There's a lot of pickaxes.
There are a lot of pickaxes. And don't forget, you can always ask to search for resources. Here at the opening to the mine might be a good place to do that.
I would like to search for resources.
Okay.
I would like to as well.
All right. So you can roll me your 2d6.
That is a full-on 12.
A full-on 12!
Ooh.
Woo!
Nice. I got one. I also got a 12. That's my last good roll, I'm sure.
All right. Okay. So you each find 2 resources. And again, those resources can become something the moment you find them, or you can just put the resource in your backpack and it can become something later when you need it to be.
Well, I think I know what I want mine to be, so I'll say what mine are now.
Okay.
A pickaxe and some dynamite.
Okay. Excellent.
Gravlax is not a very complicated character.
I mean, simple is good. Anders, do you know what you have, or are you saving it for later?
I'm gonna save one, but the other one I'm gonna go with not a pickaxe, but just a regular axe, a working axe for cutting ropes and stuff.
Cool. Awesome.
Like a Pulaski, like the ones that's an axe on one hand and then like a adze
Sure.
on the
Yeah,
other.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. Okay. And now that you have those things, and the other two of you are going empty-handed, I guess?
Yep. Let's go after it.
Cool.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Alrighty. You tell me what you're doing.
Are these tunnels lit?
Not with like electric light. Like they had candles and stuff. A lot of it is not lighting right now because, cave-ins and people running around and weird wind and stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of lit. You might get to a point where there isn't light anymore, depending on how far you're going.
Question. We established that I teleported into place from the mine. Does that mean that I am still wearing like a miner's helmet with a light on it? Okay. So I got one.
Perfect.
And I'm just assuming that I'm like half the height of the rest of you.
Amazing.
And the rumbling did not stop, did it?
Oh, no. I forgot that was what your intention was. No, there's still rumbling, still people running around, panicking. Yeah.
I'm going to go in deeper and pick up the chunk. And if I see anybody running past, I'll just say, well, do you know where all of this started? Do you know where the epicenter was?
Okay. First give me an intuition check. Thank you for that skill, Dan. I like it.
7.
7.
Same thing. Geez.
Okay. It seems like it could be a little bigger than when it left your hand. Concerned. And the person that you grab by their work shirt as they're running past and ask about the epicenter is like, I don't know, man. I was in the tunnel down maybe 100, 150 yards and it started in there, but like at the same time people are yelling from other directions too, so I don't know.
We could try to go back to the place where I was working before getting teleported away. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
so as good an idea as any.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Okay, Gravlax, where were you working?
I think I was working probably in one of the lower levels, not quite where new drilling was taking place, but or new digging, but like, excavating out some of the rock that had been found, the ore.
Right, so this is this insulative rock that you've discovered that people want to use to build houses and other buildings to keep them warm in these increasing winters. Yeah. Okay, so you all start to make your way down there. Are you just sort of strolling? Are you trying to be kind of sneaky? Are you, is there anything specific about the way you're traveling down there or just going?
I mean, I work here, so I don't care.
I'm going to be very on edge because not only am I on the land, but I am now inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what would get us down there faster? We have like this little cart system. That's right.
Oh, that sounds great. Absolutely. Let's take the carts.
I'm down for a ride.
Fantastic.
Just go white as a sheet over here. I don't want them to think I'm a wimp, but there's no way I want to get in that cart either.
Casey, it sounded like you were going to say something too.
I'm just on the lookout for like falling rocks and whatnot.
Yeah, give me a perception check for that kind of debris and stuff as y'all are moving towards the cart area.
8.
8. Okay. Yeah, so you do, you manage to spot a chunk of, sort of like loose ceiling, basically, like a biggish chunk, right as it's, starting to sort of shake loose, and you push everybody else out of the way, so you avoid that issue, but it fills, like, as it falls and crumbles, it sort of fills up, half-ish of the tunnel behind you, so it would be more difficult for you to get back or for anyone to come this way with you.
Okay.
And you make it to the...
Go.
Yep, you make it to the carts. And now we have a, montage of people riding on mine carts through tunnels and
Andrew's trying to throw up with trying to be discreet, but it is not working.
Oh no.
All right.
Aim so it's going the way from us,
Right.
not into
Off
the
the
way.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's applying boat logic there. He's
Gravelax, would you give me let's see. You know what? This is kind of a... Well, you've got +0 regardless. This is kind of a land transport or civilization thing, so yeah, give me a roll to make sure you can drive the carts.
So I just said about my last good roll. That's a 4.
Ooh, sweet! Describe for me how you spectacularly fail at driving the carts.
I think that some of the tunnel has, there's a lot of stuff and debris on the tracks, and I don't brake in time, and so the whole thing derails and flings us off.
Amazing. Okay. Flings you off, and this is sort of, in this tunnel, so the carts sort of like accordion up and kind of dump you all. So you wind up in a pile of debris that is you and rocks and cart, and you are all even more stiff and sore than you were when you started. And the carts are not moving anymore. And there might be some vomit on some of you.
Well, this is even worse than before.
I told you, no carts.
All right. Yeah, no carts. No more carts.
Well,
Wait a minute.
is the path forward blocked, or can we go a different direction?
It's not blocked, but as you saw up above, this is even more so that there's just lots of debris everywhere as the shaking happens. It's less now, but yeah, it looks like, even if you hadn't been using the carts, at this point you'd have to be clambering instead of just walking.
I roll a perception.
Go for it. What are you looking for?
I think I smell something.
Oh.
Rolled an 8.
Okay. How do you mix to succeed?
Smells? Do you guys smell that? Coming from up ahead.
You talking about the
Very?
throw? Yes.
No. The other way.
Gross.
Smells like something in the very, very advanced stages of decay. But there's something else there. I can't put my finger on it.
Could what you can't put a finger on perhaps be fire damp gas? The explosive gas that occurs in pockets underground?
I don't know what that is, so maybe.
Tell us more.
I would have to look this up, but I know that in general, because of like the minerals and stuff and whatever underground, you get pockets of sometimes just toxic, sometimes straight up explosive, flammable gas. It's kind of a mix of methane and hydrogen sulfide and just nasty stuff.
Yep. If you've heard about the canary in a coal mine,
this is why.
Put the little birdie in a cage out in front to make sure that it was safe before the people went in. It's sad. Yeah. And Jethro, do you still have the chunk of bone?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I see if it's bigger?
Intuition.
That's a 7.
Yeah, maybe a little it's not necessarily getting a whole lot like noticeably heavier, but like you just feel like your arms are getting like your hands are getting a little farther apart as you hold onto the edges of it. Yeah.
So do we follow the smell, or I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. I haven't been down here before, so.
Gravelax, what do you think?
I mean, proceed with caution, I guess. Don't light any open flame.
Ew.
Jethro is going to be the canary and go forward.
Okay.
Right.
So you're gonna have to do a bit of clambering at this point. Like I said, it's not just straightforward walking anymore. But you can. Yeah, and you're gonna get to a point where there's a choice of sort of like keep going straight, or there's like, you know, sort of a Y. So you could go left, center, or right.
Any preferences?
Anders, which way does it smell more?
Well, let me do another perception check there. 10.
10. You choose.
Off to the right, but there's something else with it now, almost like something sweet.
You getting notes of cinnamon?
So it's like a cinnamon and like honey, yeah.
Kind of oaky.
I don't like it.
Nothing. Nobody's ever described anything down here as having notes of cinnamon before, so.
Pitter patter.
So you're going towards it or away from it?
Oh, towards it.
Towards it. Okay. Yeah, Jethro, are you still going first?
Yep.
All right. Can you give me a perception check?
Nice. That's a 3.
Mm-hmm. As you continue going, you're like, all right, we're going towards this, whatever this smell is. You realize that this tunnel is darker than you thought it was. It's really dark in here. Can't see much. Don't really hear anything except the other people with you. Got this weird bone in your hands.
Just keeps confidently walking forward.
Okay.
Doesn't let anyone know that he doesn't really know what's going on.
Cool. So you confidently walk forward. Sorry.
How is my lamp holding out?
Give me a civilization roll. See if your tech is helping you.
That is a 9.
A 9. Okay. So Jethro keeps confidently walking forward into the darkness, and at the same time that Gravelax is sort of like tapping on the, you know, like you do when a flashlight's not working or whatever, you're like tapping on the light on your helmet, and the light sort of like flickers on at the same moment that Jethro's foot squishes into something. So then your light reveals what it is he's squished into. Elodie, could you describe what you had what you had left as a sacrifice on your altar?
Ooh, it wasn't anything that bad. It was just, it's fine. You know what? Like, rabbits don't even feel, like, it's fine. They don't live that long anyway. It's okay. It was being a pest.
For the purposes of world building, more than anything, is this a situation where you sacrifice it and then like you do eat it afterwards, so at least it's not going to waste, or is it like?
Is it all right if I answer, or do you?
Yeah, go for it. It's your ceremony.
Yeah. So the ceremony goes. We put the animal on the altar, and then lightning hits it. Boom, no flesh. Whole skeleton. And then, crops are a little bit better. And the cold staves off a little bit longer, I think. It's absolutely worth it. But yeah, so he has stepped into the corpse of a rabbit.
Yes.
Oh.
But
Oh.
it's not Elodie, it doesn't look like so like it looks like the rabbit it's an eastern cottontail. They're brown with a white tail. It's a rabbit, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like the rabbit that you put on the altar, and then that one had been whole, probably caught in a snare or something, right?
Yeah.
This
as humane as they can be. Yeah.
right. This has been disemboweled and its eyes are gone. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is there anything that eats rabbits down here?
Should we roll for this?
If you want to make something up, you can, or you can try to figure out if you know if there's something down here.
I mean, this isn't like a natural cave system. It's not like there's an ecosystem.
Right.
I mean, sometimes somebody brings rabbit for lunch.
And do they just eat the eyes and the intestine?
I would have to have a discussion with human resources if that were the case.
Oh, well, we don't need to get HR into it.
Yeah, we can just...
Now it's really a horror game, is that we've...
Yeah.
That's my first job because too much paperwork. They thought carts were bad. Just, yeah.
Oh no.
No. We do not normally find. We do not normally find rabbits in any state in the mine.
Can I look for like a trail of blood or something from the body?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you want to use to look for a trail of blood?
I guess just perception.
Mm-hmm.
7.
So you see spots of blood around you in the tunnel as Gravelax sort of like swings their lantern on their head around to, sort of like give you a better view because it's very dark in here now. But you don't see like a clear trail per se. You get the impression that the blood splatter that you do see is not just from you stepping into it, though.
I think something killed this thing violently. I don't think it was from lunch.
Yeah, that's strange. That's definitely not the state that it should be left in. But like, how did it even get down here?
What do you mean by the state it should be left in?
Oh, well, I mean, if let's say there was like, in theory, I would imagine the majority of their predators, it's like foxes, hawks, like smaller creatures. They're not going to just, peg out the eyes and disembowel it. That's what I meant by leaving it.
Okay.
Can I take a look for just any other strange, marks or scuffs in the ground or anything like that around? It's a 5.
A 5. Underground stuff.
Yeah.
No idea.
Jethro continues on.
Okay, into the darkness we go.
Into the darkness.
And as we're doing so, I would like to keep a very close eye on my lamp. And here is science time.
Yeah.
So the lamps used by miners pre-electricity, obviously, because we have already encountered and discussed the issue of flammable gases underground, you don't want to just have an open flame. So in the 1800s, it was discovered that if you build a lamp where you have some gauze on the top of your lantern, the gas gets cooled down or the flammable gases get the exhaust and smoke and all that of the light gets cooled down to the point where it cannot anymore ignite the surrounding gas. And also, because of the way it's constructed, if there is more than just, oxygen in the air that is getting pulled up into the design of the lamp, will start to burn brighter. So not only does it not ignite the gas, it burns brighter so that you know that there's an issue.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Man, antique tech.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. All right, so you're heading forward into the darkness, but Gravelax is keeping an eye on their lantern to see if it starts burning brighter or doing anything else weird that would indicate danger. Okay. Is anybody else doing anything else? Anders, Elodie?
Listening.
Yeah, I was going to say, just trying to keep an eye on an ear to the tremors.
Okay. Yeah. How about you two? You can work together and do perception checks to see how the tremors are doing if you're listening.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Go ahead.
Oh, I got a 10.
Ditto.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, nice.
I will support your efforts.
Hooray. 10s for everybody. Yeah, so you at this point you've been sort of clambering through debris and it feels like it's subsiding quite a bit, the rumbling. Yeah, not nearly as much shaking. Like, you aren't as afraid of things coming off the walls or off the ceiling anymore. You're also realizing that you're very, very far underground at this point. So you don't know if maybe more of the rumbling was closer to, the more active parts of the mine, or if it is just slowing down and stopping in general. But yeah, it seems safer to move now.
Is the smell getting stronger?
No, now that you've passed the carcass, the smell is receding again.
Did you put like cinnamon on the rabbit then as part of the sacrifice? Like, how's this work?
What do you mean sacrifice? Okay, so maybe some of us are eating some beignets.
The hell's a beignet?
It's like a little pastry, and
The hell's a pastry?
Oh God.
We can talk about this later. I have a world of amazing things to show you. Yes, of course we need to conserve our resources. Yes, we're low. The food scarcity is very real. That being said, I will show you how to make pastry.
You just hear him kind of grumble.
Dessert
But yeah,
isn't
so there was a
a
little
necessity. We cannot live without. I will support that. Alrighty. So you continue on, and yes, the passage is feeling a lot safer now because the rumbling has dissipated, but you do get to a point, Gravelax, if you're still trying to direct them more or less to where you had been working, you think, there's a section where all of a sudden a lot of the tunnel in front of you, like, Jethro stops because you go to put your foot down and it just kind of keeps going, and you sort of stop and balance on your other foot and pull it back slowly and look down, and there's a big section of the tunnel that's just kind of gone. Walls, ceiling, floor is just there's a much bigger hole there than there should have been some sort of massive cave in. And it's not like there's rubble in your way now. There's just this very deep pit. You don't know how deep it is without shining the light in it. Yeah, also, the bone is a little bigger in your hand now.
This thing keeps getting bigger. It's kind of weird.
I would like to drop a pebble or something in the hole and see how long it takes to hit bottom.
My favorite player trick. You do that. And you do hear it hit. It's not like it goes on forever or whatever. It hits. Give me an intuition roll, Gravelax. Or a digging roll, I guess, because you do digging things.
We're gonna go with the digging roll
Yeah.
because I got a 5, which with my +2 gets me up to a 7. So.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, you you hear it hit, so you realize it's like, oh, it's not like stupid deep. But it is deep enough that it would be dangerous if you didn't cross this carefully. Of course, you don't have to cross it, but if you wanted to keep moving the direction you had been, you would have to.
What do y'all think? We can try to cross this, or try to find another place, or I don't know, rappel down into it. I don't
It's a
know.
good thing I found this rope. Looks to be about 50 feet of rope.
What a convenient length.
All right.
Yeah, we can try to cross. We can try to go down.
Yeah, does the light reach all the way down to the bottom, or?
It's it's a personal light, so it's not like it's going to illuminate everything, but if you shine it around, you can see the bottom if you sort of like lean over the edge, especially if you do the smart get on your tummy and lean over so you don't tip in. Yeah, you can see the bottom.
Is this just like a hole, or does it seem to connect to is this a passage underneath that is caved in that's opening up into another set of tunnels? Does it look like a sinkhole? What's going on with
Give me another dig check.
That is an 8.
An 8. Yeah, it does actually look like a new tunnel, sort of busted, through kind of perpendicular to this one. Does not appear to be crafted or, built in the same way that all of the tunnels that you normally work in are built or crafted. But also, as you lean over, I don't know if we actually established if your light is electric or not.
No, it's gas.
It's gas. Okay.
Or it's oil, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's a flame.
So as you tip, some of the fuel dribbles out because you're leaning down. So you have less light duration left than you would have.
Great. We might want to go down and check this out. I think this might be part of where this problem's coming from.
Sounds good.
All right. Is there a mine brace or anything nearby we can tie the rope to?
That's an interesting
rock
question.
or something.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a rock because in the grassland there ain't that many trees.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess. Would that be crafting to tie it on?
Sure. Yeah. Where's the use rope skill when you need it? Man.
Yeah.
It's the best skill in 3.5. Anyway.
Can I help him with that?
You
Making
can.
a good solid knot.
Yeah.
You might want to. I rolled 5.
The sailor and the farm boy are working together to tie a knot. Only good things can happen.
That's a 9.
A 9. Okay. So Anders, you got a +1 from Jethro helping you.
Still a 6.
Excellent. You tie a knot.
It's so much easier when you're on a boat.
You tie a knot.
Well, this looks sturdy. All right, well,
Good
I
enough.
tied it. I guess I better be the first one to go down. Couldn't possibly go wrong.
Not at all.
Yeah, let's.
All right. Give me we'll use strength to get you to climb down in there.
That's 3.
I get to roll dice now. Excellent.
Damage.
You're not fails. It's a 6 on a d6, my friend.
Woo! Ouch.
You're not fails, and you go sort of tumbling over the rough edge of this, because again, this isn't.
Wait, does being tough help me at all here?
Oh, okay. Roll toughness, and we'll see if you can limit the damage.
That's 9 + 2 for 11.
Okay, so we'll give you half, 3 damage.
Okay.
So you're not fails. You go tumbling over the side and get buffeted by all the rocks and rough edges of this tunnel, and you fall. And cushioning your fall is a pile of Fecal material.
Ah,
Oh,
Oh no.
Yes, actual shit.
gross.
well, you just hear more. You hear more throw up sounds. All right. Is there a way to get out of this?
I
Or
mean,
is it
yeah,
like...
you can roll out of the pile of poo. It's not like
Okay, well,
it's not like you're gonna drown in it. That'd be horrifying.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe it was
It's
something
not that big.
an outhouse very quickly.
No, no. It's a big poop.
Okay,
Like you
okay.
fell into it, but you're able to roll out of it. No problem. Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, something. You know what? Just come down here and see this. Just, I'll do a dex check to throw the rope.
Okay. Yeah.
Tie better not than
Somebody
I
else want to do a dex check to catch the rope?
Alrighty, I'll try to catch it.
Okay.
That is a 7 on my end. So
Well, it's a 5 on my end, so
well,
Man.
You
Oh,
throw
no.
it and it slides back down over the edge and hits you on the head. For no more damage, but yeah.
okay. Try this again.
You got this poopy, slippery rope.
It's an 8.
somebody
Oh,
else try
no.
to catch it.
Somebody else tried to catch it.
I'll try to catch
Yeah, it shouldn't be me.
He says with much reluctance.
it. 5.
Ah!
Y'all, all right. Since you've failed on this particular avenue of trying to do something twice, now you have to come up with something new.
Okay.
You can't just sit here and roll the same dice all night.
Well, I don't know. It looks like it might be climbable.
Well,
Yeah, it's not
That's
the
what they
worst
all say.
idea.
At this point, like, Anders is subtly just hoping somebody else falls in it too,
Aw.
so he's not the only one. So he's
Aw.
kind of being a little like,
All right, I would like-
it's easy. Come on down.
I will try to scramble down.
All right, Gravelax. You can use strength or dexterity to try to climb your way down the wall.
I mean, it's not like I have either, so that is a 4. Doing great.
That got cocked in all of my wires.
Oh my goodness.
5 damage, and you also fall in the poo.
I don't like this.
So Anders is happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I try to climb like halfway down, and then when I'm like halfway down-ish, can I jump over the poop?
Okay. Yeah, we'll have you do strength to climb halfway down and then dexterity to jump over the poop.
Great. It's gonna be great. That's a 6 for strength.
Well, that's
Oh,
a
no.
fail. So you don't need to do the second.
4 for dexterity.
Incredible.
Amazing.
5 damage for you also, my friend. And
Fair
you
enough.
also... You fall in the poo!
Yeah, I think he goes like straight belly flop. He's trying to make it, just,
Oh no, your beard.
yeah, it's bad.
Gross.
It's gross.
Well, Elodie, you're the only one still at the top of this.
All
And
right,
queen.
yeah. Indeed. Probably not for long. Yeah, she is not really thinking too much. She just wants to be down there with her new companions. So she is also going to just try to climb down the way that she saw Gravelax do.
Okay.
But would you rather me use strength or dexterity? Because I have -2 to dex, but I kind of think it would be more prevalent if I did use dex.
You get to choose. There are different ways to climb rocks as someone who likes to climb rocks. So
That
you
is
could use
fun,
either.
too. That's true.
Yay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I typically climb using dex, so I'm gonna say that Elodie is gonna try to use dex as well, but this is
Valid.
gonna be -2.
Fantastic. I'm excited.
Okay, that's an 8 -2, so that's a 6.
Did you guys not hear me when I said, "Oh shit"?
I'm gonna TPK on a one-shot, friends. Oh, that's another
Into the poop.
6. And into
Was
the
that
poop.
was that a TP joke?
Ha. Elodie takes 6 points of damage and is into the poop.
Ooh.
Everybody is very hurt and also covered in poop.
Going great, y'all.
It'll mask our smell from whatever did it.
Well, you gotta look on the bright side. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
I like the optimism.
Hello, puppy.
Deeper in, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep going.
So again, this tunnel ran sort of like perpendicular to the way you had been traveling. So now you could go left or right.
Did we go right last time? Which way
Yeah.
did we go last time? Yeah, let's go left.
Going to the left. Okay, so you continue on, and of course, because this tunnel was not person-made, it is entirely dark. So you only have Gravelax's little helmet lantern to guide you.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Would I have like a hammer or anything, maybe?
If you're a construction person, yeah, it said you could have any, like, reasonable mundane materials, yeah.
Can I take off part of my, and I know you said it was a bad idea to have an open flame down here, but can I rip off like cloth from some part of my clothing, wrap it around the bottom end of the hammer, not on the metal part, and like hold it out to Gravelex, and just say, well, it looks like we might need some more light down here. I don't know if you're comfortable with an open flame, but might need something.
We'll be needing it, so sure. Happily light the.
Like every good action hero, Jethro takes off some of his shirt in order to make a lantern and also reveal some bicep for the audience.
He's oily somehow.
He's
oily. Yeah,
it's the poop.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Thanks, I hate it.
I also hate it, but it was right there. All right, so now you have two sources of light. And so, Jethro, because you're constructing all of this, did you put the bone down? Did you, like, stick it under an arm while you were constructing your little torch?
I think he put it down.
Okay. So are you picking it back up again just with one hand now?
Ooh. Yeah, if I can.
Yeah, so you do. But yeah, now it's like, it's kind of unwieldy to hold it with one hand now.
I don't know how to explain it, but this bone is weird, y'all. I mean, it's like double the size when we came in here, so
Absolutely.
I think that's either a really good thing or a really bad thing, and I guess time will tell.
Yeah, I don't like it when dead things grow. Never usually a good thing.
That is disconcerting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
You continue on into the darkness.
Not knowing how land works.
Oh God.
Anders is gonna
That's
ask
a sentence.
Elodie.
No.
Is this a normal thing to happen when you put a bone underground?
Absolutely not. And like, where are you from, man?
the sea.
Never
The
heard
ocean.
of it.
Few weeks east of here. Grew up on a boat, basically.
Like on the water?
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
the ocean.
I'll trust it.
What
Explains a
about-
few things about you, though.
What about our soil scientist here? Is this a soil thing?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Is it a soil thing?
Yeah. I also wanted to look and see if there were like any sort of like prints in addition, but we can do the is it a soil thing first.
Oh yeah, soil science or perception. Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go with soil science.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. That's a 2 + 2 for a 4.
Snake eyes.
Oh no.
We're very below the level of soil at this point, so
Yeah, guys, I normally like I'm more of a farmer type. I don't really know much about, caverns or caves or mining or anything. Yeah, beats me.
And you were looking for prints?
Yes. Yeah.
Give me a perception for that. See,
Okay.
aren't y'all glad I added perception?
Yes. Oh, okay, that's better. That's a 9.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you do. You see some little, little-ish prints. In sort of, again, because this tunnel is very sort of like rough cut and newer. There's dust and debris to allow you to see some prints. And they're canid in appearance, which is familiar to you. You've got farm dogs, and also living out in the grasslands and the prairie, there are coyotes and foxes and things like that. These are probably kind of like coyote sized, or like medium sized dog sized. And your complication is that you very quickly become aware of what made those footprints, because loping towards you out of the darkness down the tunnel comes this thing that kind of looks like a fox or a coyote, but it has some like its fur is matted down in kind of a strange way, like it's not fluffy. It's a little like sleek or like rough looking, but it's matted down. It's not poofed out the way like a normal healthy coyote would look. And its eyes are kind of like glowing, not just with the tapetum lucidum, which is the whoop whoop, the mirror thing in the back of mammals' eyes that glows in the dark. So it basically allows them to have an extra pass at using the light that's entered their eyes so that they can see in the dark. But this glow is internal as opposed to just being reflective as it comes loping towards you down the tunnel.
Can I chuck the bone shard at it?
Roll a strength check.
That's a 9.
Okay. You chuck the bone chunk at it. And where were you aiming for on this creature?
Just directly at its head.
Just directly at its head. You bonk it on the head, and it yelps. And you hear the yelp sort of like echo down the tunnel, and then you hear like a few more sounds that maybe aren't echoes as your complication.
Fuck.
Does it stop at all? Does it keep coming at me, or?
It sort of like stops and is like shaking its head like a creature that's just been bonked. Yeah.
Slowly backs away. Not turning my back.
Okay.
But slowly backing away.
Alrighty.
Ditto. Who's gonna have my axe at the ready, but also backing away?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe like looking over my shoulder to try to see like how close was that other tunnel? Could we sprint for it?
By the other tunnel, what do you mean?
Or sorry, the other tunnel. Like way back, there was like a
Really
divergence
slow.
in path.
Oh yeah, you'd have to climb
Yes.
back
Back by
up.
the poop.
It would have to be back up. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Never mind.
Yep. Anybody doing anything else?
Are we fighting this thing? Are we running away from it? Do y'all have dogs down here? I assume you don't. Is it big
No.
enough to have made that poop that we all fell in?
That is a good question. Is it the size? Was the poop bigger than this?
So the I'm gonna assume Anders and Jethro are the biggest of all of you physically, and it was enough for them to like fall into. Like this isn't like, oh, I stepped in a dog poop or whatever, and not even like the size of a pile that like an elephant would make. This is like a very large poop
Oh god.
that you fell into. The shape of which has been destroyed because so many people fell into it, but it is very large.
Oh my gosh.
So this thing probably is not big enough to make that poop.
Yeah,
I'll-
probably not.
Okay.
Operating under that logic, I wonder if it would be afraid of the smell of whatever made that poop. And maybe we don't need to be so timid.
Yeah, we can try to make ourselves big.
Let's do it.
That's gonna be
Yeah.
on y'all, but well, I'll help somehow.
Yeah,
Can I
I'll try my
get
best.
Yeah, can I get like somebody on my shoulders? Whoever wants to try it.
Yeah, let's you and me do it. We'll get the two
God,
tallest ones.
okay.
Nice.
You tell me what you're trying to roll to scare this thing.
I'll do strength to get them up on my shoulders.
Okay.
And I'll just use my intuition to like whatever sound I think might be scariest.
Okay.
A deeper, more bellowing growl than I think this thing can make. That is a
7 for me.
7.
7 plus 1 for 8 for me.
Okay, cool. Okay, let's see. So you do get him up on your shoulders, right? Because you got a mixed success. So what do you think is the complication or the cost of your success?
I think I get him up onto my shoulders, but some body part or something is like covering my eyes so I can't see.
He's got his arm. Yeah.
What's going on. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. And Anders, you were using intuition to try to figure out what this not coyote would think is scary, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're halfway to building a big scary predator, as it were. So you can go ahead and make your best attempt.
And then, yeah, just like that, and keep it moving.
Okay. So you make that noise, and it also sort of echoes down the tunnel, and the coyote creature thing that you are looking at and that you threw the bone at and whatever, sort of like, does like put its head down and its tail down and sort of like go to back away, and then like turns around and runs up the tunnel, and you hear more of that sort of like, those canid sounds that you had heard a moment ago.
Right on.
What's happening? Did it go away?
No, I mean, you're gonna have to carry me for like the next 4 or 5 minutes like this. It's no.
Jethro's gonna start walking.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You start walking, and you keep hearing those sort of like yips and growls and other noises. They seem to be advancing ahead of you up the tunnel, not coming back towards you. But you do hear, you think, communication between multiple of those creatures. Did somebody pick up the bone, or are you leaving it there in the tunnel?
I should probably pick it up.
Yeah.
All right, Gravelax, give me a strength check to pick it up.
I know.
That's an 8.
An 8. Okay, yeah. So you pick it up, but yes, it's very large for you. And you realize at this point, like when you had first encountered it on top of the altar, it was more or less flat-ish, this chip. But now it's got, as it's gotten bigger, it's got this kind of distinctive curve to it.
I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like
So
any
yeah,
of
you've
this.
got this like thing you're carrying.
All right. Well, onward, I suppose.
I'm gonna thank Jethro for the piggyback.
No problem.
All right, and you're continuing on?
Yeah.
All right, so Gravelax has the bone. The boys are doing piggyback. Elodie, what are you up to?
Honestly, I think I'm just gonna try to spot everyone. We got a piggyback situation. We've got a small goblin, big bone situation. Just trying to spot things. Oh god.
I was wondering when the first.
Oh, perfect.
Y'all, that was sincerely an accident.
But I need it as a T-shirt now.
Small goblin, big bone.
Every time Sheryl has said the bone is growing.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Okay.
intentional.
Yeah.
I had a plan. But anyway.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, Elodie, let's use your people skill check since we haven't done that yet. To sort of manage this group.
For sure. Okay, that's an 8 plus 1, so a 9.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so you feel like you're doing an okay job managing this group of people, making sure everybody's staying safe. You've got these two lights happening. You keep trying to help Anders steer Jethro so that he doesn't like walk into the walls of this tunnel.
Yeah.
And it
He's
is
doing a lot of like protecting the head.
Yeah.
Watch the,
yeah. And it absolutely is a tunnel tall enough for them to be doing that. But the floor is uneven, so it is difficult walking. So you're going a little slow-ish, but yeah, moving forward.
If it's now clear that these things aren't immediately coming back, I can hop down.
Okay. Yeah, they don't appear to be coming back. Like I said, you can hear them. They're a ways ahead of you in the darkness, so you can't see them necessarily, but you do hear every once in a while. Yeah.
Okay, next time I'll carry you. We can trade.
Fair enough. Yeah, torch out.
Okay.
Oh.
So you do, both of you with lights, since they're flames, do notice that as you continue going, your flames are waving a little, not flickering as if they're being blown so hard they're going to go out, but as if there is turbulence in the air, right? And if you sort of notice that turbulence, you could give me an intuition check to sort of try to figure out why that's happening.
Can I do a puzzle check just because?
Sure. Figure out that puzzle.
7 minus 1 is 6.
6. Okay. No idea. Anybody else?
3 plus 1 is 4.
You have no idea. You don't notice anything that could be causing that.
You guys are getting the impression that Anders may not be a particularly competent individual.
Yeah, or at least his dice hate him. And Gravelax, I need you to make another strength check.
Alrighty. That's a 5.
Awesome. At this point, your hands are starting to get sweaty, and the bone kind of slips through your hands, and kind of plops on the floor. And again, you're realizing, like, it seems to be, God, now I'm not gonna not be able to think about this, Dan, curse you. But it seems to be growing at, like, a faster rate now that you're in this tunnel. So it was both getting to be large and unmanageable, but also your hands are getting sweaty, so you dropped it.
Somebody else, not the smallest person.
I was gonna say we could also do it like you're carrying a big couch, like 2 people.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
Would
could be the way to go. Just
Yeah.
Elodie will grab one end.
Okay, yeah. So you basically, so it kind of looks like a very narrow U or like a V. So it's not curving like a big, like a rainbow arc. It's like a very tight curve, right? So one of you would basically have like the bowed end, and the other one would have the 2 free ends, if that makes sense. Yeah. And you continue walking, awkwardly carrying this thing.
Yep.
Amazing. Huh?
Pivot.
All right. And Elodie, you quickly realize, like, yeah, your hands are getting sweaty too. It's not just from carrying this thing. Like, you feel like it's hot in here. And it's kind of like what the miners upstairs had said. Like, you all are starting to realize maybe this was why the flames are guttering, that it's like you feel like a warmer and warmer light breeze, like there's warm air coming towards you. And so that differential in the temperature of the air is what's making the air movement, and therefore the flames flicker. But yeah, you appear to be getting someplace warmer.
Okay. Are we seeing any light with this, or is it just the warmth?
Just the warmth. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Do we still hear the coyote things?
Yeah. So I suppose every once in a while you see like the glow of their eyes up in front of you, but not like sustained light. Yeah.
Carry on, carrying on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So after too long, sorry, I'm just looking at these skills in case there's anything fun I could add in here. I don't think we're gonna have time for cooking today, Gravelax. Sorry.
Darn.
I know, right? After a little while, you can still hear the coyote things, but they don't seem to be moving that much anymore. But it does appear to you as if they've sort of like rounded a curve in the tunnel. So they don't appear to be making any more progress away from you, but you can't quite see where they've gone.
Well, then there's only the one. There's not like branches coming off of this thing, right?
Nope.
It's been straight, and
Yep.
it still looks like it's been. Well, I don't know. Anybody know anything about bones, by the way? Like, can you figure out what this thing's from?
Yeah, can we figure out what kind of bone it is at all?
Oh boy, yeah. I'd say give me a nature check, but we don't have that. You give me an argument for what you think it could be.
Oof.
You wanna roll for. Maybe this is a cooking moment. Who knows?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
The closest I would say is puzzles. Like,
Okay. Yeah. Skeleton as many puzzle pieces.
that is a 10.
A 10. Awesome. So in a moment of clarity, Jethro, as you're watching Gravelax and Elodie carry this thing and weirdly incrementally getting farther apart from one another as it continues to grow, it's attaining the shape of a jawbone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Does the jawbone appear to have what is it, dentary squamosal articulation?
What?
Remember,
What was that?
Well, if we can,
Is
if
it-
we
is
I
can
thought you were an
like-
invertebrate person. What do you know about teeth?
Yeah, I TA'd a lot of vertebrate biology, so maybe we can figure out what it's from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What bones are from.
Roll for dentition.
Yeah, Jethro just says, well, I think we're carrying the jaw of something. And who knows how big it is because it just keeps getting bigger. So we got something to be on the lookout for. Or maybe not. Hopefully it's already dead since we have its jaw. So maybe we're all good.
Yeah. But also,
I
if it's
mean-
anything like the bones that Gravelax has been talking about, maybe bones and death, maybe that doesn't mean they stop impacting our lives.
That's right. Do we go deeper? Do we try to?
Yeah. In for a penny, in for a pound.
Yeah.
All right. So you sort of continue moving down the tunnel and you get to this curve and you realize you can see light. Again, it's not sustained like your two flames are, but you can see the lights of eyes of several of those little coyote type creatures moving in the darkness as they sort of like scurry around. And then also this sort of like a glowing, like pulsating lights, kind of like higher in the air than where all of their little heads are. And above that pulsating light by quite a bit are two more glowing eyes that are quite a bit bigger.
Oh boy.
You've heard of me timbers.
Casey, you're making faces, but you said horror.
Any ideas? I mean, I don't think we can scare whatever that big thing is off.
We could hold up. We still have the bone, right? We could just present the bone.
We brought you this.
Hey, is this yours?
Excuse me? Did you drop this?
Is that what you're doing? Are the two of you holding it up?
Yeah, if Gravelax is cool with that, that's what Elodie's trying to do.
Alrighty, yeah.
Okay. All right. Give me another strength roll to hold it up. One of you is quite a bit taller than the other, so
Yeah. Okay, that's a 7 from me.
okay, yeah. So you're able to hold it up, and you do, and are you both? Have you both turned so that you're facing into this space, or is one of you with your back to it?
I want to see what I'm looking at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you both, you hold up this jawbone, again, mostly in the darkness, except for your two little lights, and your two little lights are illuminating a bit of the space. You can see one another and the bone, and like a bit of the movement of these coyote things as they sort of like run in and out of the area that's illuminated. And the glowing eyes sort of start leaning down towards you, and that glowing, pulsating light sort of like leans forward as well. And Anders and Jethro, you are able to see this because you're not holding anything, but Gravelax and Elodie, you get a real good close-up look. These eyes, as they come into the area that's illuminated by your lights closer to the jawbone, are in a skull that is just the top part of the skull. It's missing the jaw, because again, this whole part is separate from the rest of this, right? And it is a skull, a very big skull with an elongated snout and lots of sharp teeth. And you can see now that the jawbone you're holding has lots of sharp teeth to match. And this head sort of leans down and just sort of like rests and clicks the jaw into place. And like... and the whole net, like, you know, the whole body sort of like pulls the head up and like back into the darkness. So you saw this like skeletal head and like a little bit of the neck, but you're not really sure what the whole creature is still. But yeah.
Well, now it could bite us, so we kind of freaked out.
Can you talk, monster skull thing?
You hear this like cold.
I couldn't make that out.
Sorry, it's like cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how we roll around here these days.
You're so chill.
Are you causing it to be cold, or you don't like the cold because it's warm down here? do you need help or something? Are you the one that left that big old shit? Because I want to know. Just from our own personal.
This is a good reminder of what it's like to be them.
Yeah,
Trying to do scary monster.
Rabbit.
Yeah. No. Cold. And then the eyes sort of like come back down to be like at a level with Elodie. Like, you cold magic?
No, absolutely. You know what? It was well intentioned. I had no idea that it was going to be this much of a problem. We're just trying to feed everyone. I'm just a crop person. Like that's what I care about. You know what though? I did not mean for it to cause the cold though. We were just trying to make the conditions more viable. But that is on me. That is my bad. I promise that will not happen again. I will not mess with druid magic unless it's helpful to the majority of the people next time.
You want to give me a people skills check to persuade this thing?
Yeah, I got what I deserved. That's a 4 + 1 technically, but it's still a fail. It's a 5.
Oh no!
I'm sorry, guys. You can leave my corpse.
Wait, are you saying that you're the one who caused all this cold stuff? Or
I didn't know. This is Maddie speaking out of character. I don't think that Eleni knew that she was causing the cold. I think she was just trying stuff. But I want to make sure that I'm saying the right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know I was causing the cold. This is just what I've been taught in order to like help use druid magic for the crops. I didn't know that it was what was causing the cold.
Yeah, give me a big picture roll.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, that's a 8 - 1, so a 7.
A 7. Okay, yeah. So you're in this moment as you're sort of like equivocating and trying to talk your way out of whatever this trouble is that you've gotten yourself into. You do have like a spark of realization that like, not to get too Fern Gully about this, but maybe if you'd been trying to use the druid magic to sort of like work within the rhythms of the land, that might have worked out for you better. But because you failed on your people skills check, the eyes were
eaten anyways.
The eyes were already at your level. And you all see the like the pulsating warmth and light like getting a little like bigger and brighter and pumping a little faster, and there's this like very big bright expanse of it very fast, and all of you, well, the 3 of you, not Elodie, find yourselves laying again in odd positions on the ground in the center of the town by the altar. And when you open your eyes and like sit up and look, you see the body of the person that you had been wandering through the mines with, Elodie, but they have these glowing eyes now. And I think that's where we'll end our horror story for the day.
Yes.
That was amazing.
That's awesome.
So now you are the ambassador for whatever that creature was.
Hell yes.
You guys did amazing. That was fun.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I like the world you made a lot. That was super fun.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Can I just, on
Nobody
that freeze
died.
frame, Andrews gets up and dusts his hat off.
Just walks off into the sunset.
Never to touch a cart again.
Fucking kids these days.
Fuck this noise.
Kids these days with their glowing eyes.
Right? Oh man. We did animal sacrifices and we talked about the prairie and underground gases and poop and teeth and Any guesses as to what kind of creature it was with the descriptions of the bone I gave? No?
A super big wolf?
I said it was really super porous in the beginning.
Oh, yes, you did. I was wondering if it was maybe, and this, I am a plant person, this could be totally off base.
Go for it.
I thought it was maybe some sort of hybrid, because you also talked about how there was like some sort of like matting around the face, and the glowing eyes. So maybe, like in addition to like a little bit of like wolf or like canine, maybe there's also like some sort of hawk in there.
Yeah, so
because
that's
of the lighter bones.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So like
Cool.
birds, or at least air-going birds. A lot of terrestrial birds don't have porous bones, but a lot of like air-going birds or flying birds do have porous bones. And a lot of people who have tried to science their way through dragons have also suspected or said that dragons could have porous bones in order to make them more feasible. So I was kind of going with like a dragon earth elemental thing, and then the coyotes were dragon hybrids too. too, and that's why their fur was sort of becoming scaly and like,
Ooh,
yeah.
so cool.
Very cool. Very cool.
You guys made a fun world. I liked that. Oh,
Mhm.
man.
It was good.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for tuning in to You Awaken in a Strange Place. I think this is so much fun because we just go with what we've got. And there were definitely a few times in there where I listened to what they were chattering about in order to make the next difficulty in the encounter. So, you know, improv. It's fun. You should try it sometime. Please, everyone, let's go around again, and you can remind the people who you are and where they can find you on the internet, starting with Jess.
So Jess McLaughlin, postdoc at UC Berkeley. I can be found in multiple places online as JF McLaughlin92, primarily on Twitter, also over on ecoevo.social on Mastodon, and I guess that's actually the two ones I know.
Perfect. And then there's Maddie.
Hi, yes, Maddie Brightbill. I am a PhD student at UT Austin. I post on Twitter once every 6 months. My handle is CM Brightbill. Stay tuned.
Amazing. And there's Dan.
Dan Peach, assistant professor at University of Georgia. Go Dogs. And reach me at Twitter at DanPeach3. I'm looking for master students, so if you're interested in mosquito ecology, please reach out.
I'm sorry, did you say Go Dogs? Is the
Go
mascot
Dogs.
is just a dog?
It's the UGA Bulldog.
Oh, it's a bulldog. Okay, I was like, there's no way it's just a dog. Like, it's got to be a kind of dog, right? Like,
It is. They just won the college football national championship.
Oh,
so.
All right. Amazing. And then there's Casey.
Yeah, I'm Casey McNeil. I'm an actor. You can find me on Twitter at Casey McNeil or on Instagram at _Casey McNeil. Just the letters KC, not CASEY. Nothing against those CASEY people, though. So.
And you know me, I'm Sheryl. I live here on Nature Check. You can find me on the internet as the Roving Naturalist on like Twitter and Instagram places, and I did the YouTube thing, but you know, grad school is hard. And also, yeah, I run Nature Check. You can find us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all podcast platforms. You can find us here live streaming again next Sunday, same time. Cindy and I will be doing a nature chat to sort of recap all of the artist stuff that happened last year and talk about things that we might be anticipating for the new year. And I'll have some GM tips. I think the last thing we talked about was maybe doing some mechanics for altitude sickness, since that's not a thing that they have mechanics for in D&D, and we did some mechanics for like getting struck by lightning before and stuff, so we'll just keep coming up with fun ways to hurt players in the environment. So yeah, come for the nature chat next Sunday, and then the Sunday after that we'll be back with Arda episode number 72, the first Arda stream for the year. But yeah, thank you so much for all of you hanging out in the audience, and thank you so much to all of the players this evening. You were wonderful, and I had a blast, and we will see you later. Bye.
Hi.